Alright, what's up YouTube? Cedric Harris checking in, and this segment right here is about cassette tapes. Now I was originally going to do this for the Cedric Harris show, because as you might be able to tell, this segment right here is actually being recorded on tape, like one of these tapes right here. Okay. Oh yeah, video 8. Or like one of these tapes right here. I also use these sometimes, these TDK EHG 120s. Alright, but I decided not to do this for the Cedric Harris show because I just didn't think it would fit. Maybe I'll do a segment about cassette tapes on the Cedric Harris show, but it just didn't really fit what I was going for. But what I was going for was, I've been watching this one dude's channel on YouTube called Cassette Comeback, I believe. It's either Cassette Comeback. And it introduced me to something I never had considered before. Like, yeah, I know everybody likes listening, well, not everybody, but a lot of people like to listen to the recordings that I have on these tapes. But I never had any clue that anybody would be interested in the actual brands of tapes. And then I started seeing all these things where they're talking about, oh, like, yeah, these Maxell URs or whatever. It's interesting, because now, ever since I've been watching this dude's channel, I've been looking at these hubs. But anyway, and I started thinking, come on, focus. I can never get anything to focus for some reason when I'm out here. I started thinking, I have so many different kinds of cassette tapes that I bet, people haven't seen in forever, if they've ever seen. So, rather than play them like I normally do, this is just a special quick video. We're going to go through some of the tapes that I have that I think are the least common. You've probably seen these UXS 60s. These are some of my favorite cassettes, but let's just go through them, okay? So, first off, the first one here that I showed you, this is the Sony HF90. This came out in the mid-80s, and we got the brown, shiny brown tape. They sound good. I always like these. As you can see, there's a jazz album of Ma Jamal on here, and it sounds great. It's a little hissy, but it sounds great. So, okay, we showed you the UXS 60. Okay, it's very black tape. It's awesome. All right, let's just go through it, because we have a lot of tapes to get through here. And I'm doing these in no particular order. The Super Tape LN30. I don't know much about these. I have a couple of them. I've had them for a long time. I never really had an impression that they sound very good. Now, this guy who does the Cassette Comeback, this is one of his favorite cassettes here. This is the UDS2. Maxell, and I think in the UK they're just called the UD2. There it is. And this one has JJ Cale on it. I have another one that has Steely Dan, and as you can see, this is a very dark tape. I'm trying to get to focus. Dark tape. Again, if you're watching this and wondering why it looks so crappy, it's because I am doing it on a Sony Video 8 camcorder, just for the authenticity. And also because my other Sony high-definition camera is not charged. Now here we go. We have the TDK SA Focus Mofo TDK SA 60. Lovely. And with the very black tape on the bottom, very black, very shiny. All right, let's keep going. I haven't seen too many of these. This is a Scotch. I believe it's BX60, normal position. Type 1, normal position, Sony BX60 with the very yellow ferric tape. But it stood up well over the years. I thought this was garbage, and it doesn't really take a high input, and actually you can even see, I think, perhaps, I don't know if it'll focus that closely. I don't have any macro on this. But if you look very closely, that's too scratchy to tell. There is some like mold growing on that tape. Some sort of fungus. Okay, this is... Pick another tape out. Hold on. This is a Sony, Maxell XL90 with Zeppelin 1 on it and Zeppelin 3. Okay. Continuing, the Fuji DR1 or DRI, yeah, DR1. It's a Type 1 60-minute cassette, and I remember when these came out. Let me advance it a little bit. Just a little story about these, because I don't really have much to say about most of these tapes. But this particular tape, when it came out, was the first time I ever had an issue with a cassette deck. It was the first time we ever bought a tape demagnetizer, because something just wasn't right with these, and as it turned out, the tape demagnetizer was, that was not the problem. We didn't need to demagnetize the heads. It was just those Fuji tapes. I was very underwhelmed with them. I think we already showed one of these. It's another Sony HF90. As you can tell, we use those a lot. What else do we have here? I might show some repeats. I just grabbed out what I saw that I thought was rather novel. The MRX-I or MRX-1 Memorex 60-second. Oof. That leader, I don't know if you can tell on this crappy camcorder, but that leader does not look so hot. Let's advance it a little bit. That leader looks very bad. And the tape also looks, as you can see, very bad. That tape has not weathered well, has not aged well, unfortunately. Will we focus? Okay. What's next in the list? Oh, this is one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite of every cassette ever made. The Sony UCX-S90. I mean, seriously, show me a tape that sounds better than that. It's kind of brown. What is this? What would the cassette guy call this? Is this cobalt doped ferric? CRO2. Yeah, something like that, right? My favorite cassette as far as design, sound quality. You can crank these. Look at that. What a beautiful cassette. I'm just going to leave that one right through. Oh, okay. So there's the UCX-S, which is what we're looking at, and then the slightly, I guess this is the slightly less quality model. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The UCX-90. So I guess this became UX-90, and then this became UXS-90. Really, I can't tell much of a difference between the two. Let's see. Can we see? And the tape really looks about the same, doesn't it? And look how dirty it is under there. But these still play great. And I'm not cleaning them up because I don't care. Okay. What else we got here? Something. Oh, okay. This is the cheapest tape I've ever purchased in my entire life. Of course you'll... Yeah. This is the worst tape I've ever purchased in my life. In fact, whatever is on this tape is no longer readable. It doesn't look that bad, but trust me, it's terrible. So, Tone Master, Type 1, and take my word for it, this tape is the worst tape ever. These were 3 for $1 at Big Lots. 3 for $1 at Big Lots. Terrible. Terrible. Worthless. I wish I could have those that dollar back. Alright, nothing fancy or rare here. It's the CD at 90 with the slide case. I wish I had more of the slide cases, but a lot of them got thrown out. What else do we have here? The Fuji FR2. Look at that. Oh! This one has seen better days. As you can tell, I don't take the greatest care of these tapes. Most of them have already been transferred. Let's get something else for you to look at while I fix this tape. Oh. Right. Ah, the UX Turbo. Bear with me. I can't just put this tape back in the box without fixing it first. Oh my God. Poor tape. Okay. You'd never know. I fixed it. The Rippingtons. Fuji FR2. This is a great tape. Sounds good. No complaints about that tape. And of course the UX Turbo, which is just rebranded UX tape, and it sounds beautiful. Alright, here's one. I've got a couple of these, and I'm sorry, I've got the white screen again. I apologize. Alright, this tape, I imagine, is not very good. I don't know if I've ever actually played this. It came from some family, and it says Christmas '86. You can't read it, probably, because this camera... Ooh, oh, yeah, look at that. It does focus. Christmas '86. I think this is from family. I don't know who this came from. Alright. Rainbow Cassette. Recoton. Corporation, licensed New York. Anyway, Rainbow Cassette C60. I imagine this sounds terrible. I'm just guessing. Let's look at the tape. Yeah. Looks pretty rough. Alright, what else do we have here? I'm not even... God, I wish I could say I was done. Alright, here is a newer model Sony HF. When I say newer, this is like early 90s as opposed to mid 80s. This is the later incarnation of the Sony, Maxell XL2 90. These sounded really good. I don't know, they weren't my favorite. This particular variation of the XL2 was not my favorite, but... Oh, look at what happened to this one. Here, let's zoom way in, if we can. Focus. Oh, and that tape doesn't look too hot either. Alright, well this tape's seen better days. Let's see, can we focus? Focus, focus, focus. Energy efficient and anti-resonance cassette mechanism. Okay. The Memorex HBS 290. I use these mainly to record off the ham radio, so I wasn't worried about quality, but IIRC, this was actually pretty good tape, looks pretty dark, pretty decent. Another UCX 90. Why am I showing you? I don't know, I'm showing that I have a lot of these because I love them. Oh, here we go. I don't think we've done one of these yet. The Radio Shack XR60, Type 1, normal position, premium ferric formula. These actually work pretty well, if I recall correctly. Radio Shack. Alright. Alright, now this is a mystery cassette. The only clue as to what it is right here. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Or even cooperate with me here. It says C92 high energy. And that's the only marking this tape has. And then it's got these little arrows, which of course... focus on the arrows. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. It's not really focusing. Let's try to... Oh, wow. Yeah, there we go. C92. Alright. And these say... The Our Recording Company. Oh, you can also see... Here, let's see if we can... There's like some fungus or some mold or something growing on there. That's great. The Hour Recording Company, P.O. Box 1299, St. Petersburg, Florida 33731. These tapes, I believe they're Type 1. Yeah, I mean, they are Type 1. They're not terrible. I mean, they are very old and they were not cared for well. These are ones that my dad had going way back in the day. He knew the guy who owned this place, the Hour Recording Company. And these were the cassettes that if you went in and recorded a demo, that's what you'd get. Alright. Another Radio Shack cassette. This is the LN60. If I already showed this, I apologize. I am really just trying to get through this as quickly as possible because I actually have other video to edit for the Cedric Harris show. Like I said, this was going to be a Cedric Harris show segment, and then I decided, you know what, nobody's going to want to see that. Well, I mean, unless you like cassette tapes, and then you'll watch this video, and, you know, you get what I'm saying. Now, for a Type 1 cassette, nah, it's still pretty brown. I was going to say it's not that brown for a Type 1, but yeah, not a bad cassette for a Type 1. Alright, a little classier here, the TDK Max, or MAX. Let's zoom in. One of the few Type 4 metal tapes that I have, because I never really used them a whole bunch. Except for in later years, we started using these. Nice cassette. Very, very nice. Oh, well, that would be remiss if we didn't look at the tape on the bottom, the very black tape. Very good, can take a lot of signal. Lovely. This is an old one. Very old Maxell UD. I think it's just the normal UD Type 1. And we use this several times. We just use this over and over to record off the CB radio. And so we didn't care that much about the quality. But yeah, it's a good cassette. Let's see what else we have here. I feel like we're getting to something good. Oh, well. Okay. It's another one of these Tone Masters with a different label, different paper label. Let's zoom in a bit here. Come on, focus. Yeah, there we go. WPC 1718, made in China. Again, another awful cassette that's absolutely worthless. I mean, you can't even hear what's on this tape anymore, which is probably a good thing, because this is a band that I had when I was like 9 or 10 years old, so I'm actually glad that you can't listen to that anymore. Okay, this is a different version of the UXS. We showed you the UCXS. This is the UXS. Superfine uniaxial. And let's see that tape. Come on, focus. Focus, baby. Come on. It looks a lot more brown on the camera than it does in the room here. Another MRX, MRXI, or MRX1. I think I already showed you one of these. Whatever. Let me see, what is this? This is the TDK SD Type 2. Woo! Let's see if we can focus in. Yeah. Super dynamic cassette. High resolution, low noise cassette mechanism. Reliable cassette mechanism. Very nice dark tape there. Yeah. Great cassette, no complaints about that one. Another FR2, I believe I showed you the other one was the Rippingtons one. This is Gato Barbieri. think I'm running out of cassettes here. Am I really running down? Oh, now this is an interesting one. This is one of the clown cassettes, except for, you may or may not be able to tell, it doesn't have the original Memorex tape in it. I actually used this shell because the other shell that I had was bad, the other hubs that I had were bad, and this tape, come on. Come on. Yeah, come on, look at the hub. Look at the hub. Look at that pretty hub. Yeah, this is not the original Memorex clown cassette tape inside. I believe it's still Type 1 tape, but I believe this came out of one of these that was damaged. So I had to transplant the tape. Alright, we're getting down to the end here. What else haven't I shown? Oh, this is an odd one. I recognize the cassette shell on this. I recognize the chassis on this one. And I can't for the life of me place what the brand was. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me what this was. I want to say this was maybe BASF, maybe TDK. I don't remember. I have a couple of these. Oh, there we go. That looks better. I have a couple of these. They're Type 1s. Get out of my way. Screwing my focus up. Yeah, look at it. Another dirty cassette. Like, these cassettes, this is something that I actually should throw into this video that I don't think has been mentioned. Look, it's cracked. I have so many tapes, just to be completely honest with you. I have so many tapes over the years, and some of them I care for very, very carefully. Let's just throw another random cassette out there. I care for some of these tapes very, very carefully, and others literally just get thrown into bags. Oh, look, here's an old case for the UX. You know what? Let's open it up and see if there's anything in the J card. Nope. But it is a original UX J card. Dude, look, people, I don't know why I'm showing this to you. I didn't realize this was a thing. I started watching this guy's videos, and then I realized I'd watched like 50 of his videos over the course of a night, and I said, okay, this is incredible. Okay, here is a later generation UX90. Really no difference in the tape between the other UX that I've shown you, the other, like, you know, let's zoom out. It's like between this UX, this UX, or that UX, or shit, even that UX. This is the same UX, but another UX. Or this UX, or that UX. I mean, it's all good. This UX. Alright, we're down to the wire here. Let's, I may have to edit some... You know what, I'm not going to bother. None of this is going to get edited. Screw it, we're just going to load it up tonight. Push all this out of the way. We'll zoom back in a little bit. I think I already showed one of these, but here we go, just for the heck of it, since it's still in my hand, the UD2 90. Another Sony CD-IT. This is in the dark blue case with the slide case. Another Fuji DR1. I know I have more cassettes. I'm actually kind of kicking myself. I should have put more planning into this. TDK D90. That I actually got this from a air check collector who gave me a couple of those DR90s. And HFS. HFS. These are great. I mean, these HFSs, yes, it says, you know, it's Daddy Don't Fart. Noise reduction off. These HFS tapes, oh man, look at, you can see there's like some mold growing there, something, mildew or something growing on the tape. Probably still sounds good though. Clean the machine after you play it. Radio Shack, I believe. XR60. SA. TDK SA60. Yeah, okay. Maxell capsule, if I didn't already show this one to you, the Maxell capsule. This actually sounds really good. The XL2 in the 110 minute variety. And, what the hell is this one? I don't know if I've ever actually really explored this one here. It's a Sony Type 1. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Sony Type 1 normal bias. And it just calls itself a hi-fi. A Sony hi-fi. With your Type 1 ferric tape. I've never seen, I mean, obviously I have it. I probably have a few of these and I've seen it, but whatever. And then the last one's a bit of a novelty, I suppose. This is a Radio Shack 3-minute endless loop tape for answering machines. And very brown tape, but not bad looking. Has a special formulation for answering machines, and it's an endless loop. And it is, come on, made in Korea. So there you go. Yeah, zoom out. I have lots of tapes. Lots of tapes. Lots of tapes. Lots of tapes. I even have videotapes. Lots of tapes. Well, alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas or suggestions for what I should do in the future with these cassette tapes, if I should make a big bonfire with these, just like put in a big pile and dump some gasoline on it. Whatever you think I should do with all these tapes. If there's anything you want to hear, maybe I'll do some tests. Like maybe we'll test sound quality, you know, record something on one of these or one of those, or like this old super tape, do something with this. I don't know. For me, cassette tapes these days are all about what's on them. I'm not really trying to make new tapes. I think it's amazing that people are making new tapes. I'm very fascinated by it. I love listening to the playback, and I go, oh man, that sounds every bit as good as the source. I love it. But what these tapes are really all about for me is getting the stuff off of them. You know, this tape has radio broadcasts from the FM radio. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Focus, you see? It's got radio broadcast from 1989. This one has radio broadcasts from the 90s that I recorded when I was a kid. You know, this one has more radio broadcasts from the 80s. Most of these tapes are air check tapes. Some of the tapes are of me when I was a kid doing stupid stuff, and I don't listen to those. Maybe someday I'll want to, but I don't want to right now. I'm being attacked by a moth. So anyway, a lot of people are all about, I want to make new tapes, I want to relive the 80s and the 90s and all that nostalgia. And I feel that, but for me, what it really comes down to is I get a tape, I make sure it's all good to go, I clean my machine out, I put it in the machine, and I get the information off the tape so that we don't lose it forever. Because I've found things on tapes, videotapes, audio tapes. I mean, you name it. I found things on floppy disks that would have otherwise been lost to history forever. Yeah, so that's what tapes are about to me. Anyway, this video's gone on long enough. You've seen everything I have as far as the variety of cassettes. I'm sure there are others, but I didn't feel like doing anymore. This is it. This is what you get. Alright, it's Cedric Harris. I got to get back to editing the Cedric Harris show, which will probably, episode 2 will probably never come out, but yeah, whatever. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, alright, take it easy. I'll see you later. Bye. Okay guys, Cedric Harris back again, and I apologize for the background noise because the dryer is running now and I don't feel like shutting it off. I just wanted to show you 3 things really quick that I didn't get to show you when I was taking the last video. The first one is this interesting tape, which I got from my grandmother, oh, I don't know, a number of years ago. It's a Sertron LN60, 30 minutes per side. And as you can see, it's dirty too. Man, I know you people think I'm really taking bad care of these tapes because they all look dirty, but I'm just telling you, you know, you don't have to take care of them and they still play 30 years later. And then this one, which is kind of cool because on this side, it's a Memorex DB Series 90. But on this side, it says it's an Ampex low noise, high output. Somebody stuck that on there. It's actually a Memorex DB series. And then finally, that other tape that had the label on it that I couldn't figure out or remember. I was right. If it'll focus. Focus. Oh, you mother. It doesn't want to focus. Are you kidding me? There we go. Yeah. It is a BASF. It's a BASF Ferro Extra 1. Yep. So there you go. Alright, so those are the 3 other tapes that I just ran across that I wanted to show you, and whatever. I'm sure we will revisit this subject again. Alright, good night. I'm going to bed.